All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan podcast. All right. So, I'm your quarter host, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, Coach Williams. That direction, Trish TV, the quarterback that runs this whole thing. All right. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
Down below, Steve Space H. White, the guy who came up with the idea for the show. What's good with you, man?
What's happening?
Down at the angle, Pando 316, the good guy with the black hat. What you got on there?
Yo, I got this Just a Fan merch. Check it out. We all rocking it. This is our new logo. This is a surprise we have for y'all. You can't see it right now. We got our names on the back, though. Shout out to Jesse Porter the Third, aka Man. That's my cousin from H-Town. He did these. He did this merch for us. Pretty soon we're gonna be opening up a line, and you can line of merch you can buy. And basically, Jesse's gonna be doing it. His company's called True Life Fashion. All right. So, big shout out to my cousin Jesse Porter, because we wanted to change the look of our logo, get it a little bit brighter, a little bit more colorful. So you'll be seeing us on the air with this all the time. When it warms up, I got a t-shirt. Right now I'm wearing the hoodie because I got the action show. But we rocking it right now. So you'll be seeing us in this for the foreseeable future. And if you would like to buy some merch, let us know. Hit us up on our Facebook page, because we're going to get the ball rolling on that. All right?
That's right. Hey, listen. We really want to get something going, especially again, get us to 5. Hey, y'all, get us to 500 subscribers. Can y'all get us to 500 subscribers before the end of the year, please?
Yeah.
That way we can do some stuff. Like we can do some real big stuff for y'all. We appreciate it.
Everybody got a friend. Just tell them hit subscribe.
Yeah, just hit the subscribe button.
Just hit subscribe.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. They might learn something about football that the talking heads on the big networks don't talk about.
Hey, listen. You can learn a lot from us. I mean, a lot. Okay. All right. So since last week, we've had a couple more head coaching hires. Last week on the show, Ben Johnson was hired by the Detroit Lions. Aaron Glenn was hired by the New York Jets, Jets. But this week we've had a few hires ourselves. We have had Pete Carroll to the Raiders, Liam Cohen to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Brian Schottenheimer to the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go ahead and get started with Liam Cohen to the Jacksonville Jaguars with the weakest Duval chat.
No, it didn't sound like that. It didn't sound like that. It sounded worse than that.
It sounded. First of all, let me say this, man. Let me say this. If you are a first-time head coach, you should be well, at least I would be excited, okay? That's number one. Number two, that chant was so weak. It was like it was just uninspiring. It was uninspiring. If I was a Jaguars fan, I would have put my head in the ground like an ostrich, man. Ain't no way in the world I'm sitting here and dealing with that. I'm not.
You know what that was?
You gotta be excited. You gotta put your chest in it, and you gotta be like Duval. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta put something into it, man. Put something into it. That was weak.
It was like he had a question mark behind it. Like, Duval.
It was like,
like he was unsure.
I was like,
It was like he was unsure.
I was like, dude, you okay?
The sound matched the sound of 1,000 Jacksonville Jaguars jerseys being burned simultaneously. That's what that was. That's what that sound was. Like, oh my God, we gonna suck.
Yeah, that was weak, man. That was
very we weak. Suck again. Yeah.
Hey, where's that line from?
The Water Boy.
That's what it is.
Water Boy. Water Boy.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like, let's be fair. All the jokes aside, because that was goofy as hell. We all know that. But he could eat. Let's be real. He can come in there. We joking right now. Jacksonville fool around there, and
he better.
We're making jokes, but realize that he had Baker Mayfield almost looking like an MVP.
Yeah, and we all know what Baker Mayfield is.
Yeah, at this point, and I'm not saying he's I'm not saying he's a scrub, but we know who he is.
That Baker Mayfield arc never came back down,
and never came back down.
And now it's gonna come back down.
Hey, listen, and we have admitted it too, man. This guy literally has hit his ceiling, and I mean, I'm fine with that. If you that kind of a guy that can get a quarterback to hit a ceiling and it's not that bad, then you know, kudos to you. So that's why Jacksonville brought him in, because they like, we need to help out Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence is, going bad right now with, he had Urban Meyer, and that was just a disaster. Doug Peterson Doug Peterson probably more need to be OC starting in 2026. So what do you guys think, man? For real.
This is my only thing, because again, I don't really trust Khan down there.
Yeah.
So I don't hold high expectations when it comes to the Jags anyway.
Right.
But what I will say is this. If there was ever a time, I know y'all gonna laugh when I say it, but you know how I feel. If there was ever a time for someone to prove to me that Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent,
oh boy,
this is the time. Because again, look what this man did with Baker Mayfield for his career. All right, Baker Mayfield is legitimately the franchise QB for the Buccaneers for the foreseeable future, in large part because of this cat. Todd Bowles is not an offensive mind, so this was his show. This was his show on the offensive side of the ball. So if he could get Baker Mayfield to play above himself, surely the generational talent in Jacksonville should meet the expectations that was bestowed upon him. And this is my thing. And I think people feel like I'm being too hard. It's not against Trevor Lawrence, the person. It's not a shot at him. It's a shot at all those people around him that did this to him. Because he ain't saying himself that he was a generational talent. The people did. So this is, I don't mind being wrong. But don't tell me I'm wrong when I'm right. Like, that's my whole thing. So
you preach.
So this is the time. This is the time, and I'm not even going to say in this first year. Yeah, I'll give it 2. I'll give it 2 years. I'll give it 2 seasons. But I gotta see something that's like, ooh, that's what they were talking about, and I will yield and say I was incorrect, because right now he is a mid-tier QB. He has upper tier talent, but he's mid-tier QB, in my opinion. And I don't think he can get higher. I think his ceiling is what it is. That's my personal opinion.
Some of that, and we mentioned this, some of that is his mindset. Because remember, when he came out of college, he was the one that said, well, football's not all that important to him. So if football's not that important to you, you're not gonna take yourself to the next level. And that's what happened with Kyler Murray. Remember, we had that contract extension, and they said, well, you need to put the video games down and do more study your playbook. Well, if I got to put down your contract, why am I even giving you this big contract extension? That shouldn't for a quarterback. So even though now, like, he's on a different coaching staff, Kyler Murray probably has hit a ceiling and is not going to get much better, unfortunately for him.
That's all I'm saying. So that's my whole take. I don't really care nothing else about the team. I'm squarely looking at Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I get it.
You generational talents are supposed to be franchise movers. Point blank. Period. It really don't even matter the condition you walk into it. If you're that guy that they've said he is, it don't matter. Andrew Luck walked into a terrible situation. Even Deion Sanders made Atlanta relevant when he first walked in. So I gotta see it, man. I gotta see it.
Lawrence Taylor too.
Yeah. So I gotta see it. But that's my take. I ain't really got nothing else because I don't really care about the Jaguars. They're like what?
Bottom
Big
5
lots.
teams.
It's like big lots to target. Like that's how I feel about Jacksonville Jaguars. That's how I feel.
At this particular point, Jacksonville are those little lint balls that develop on your sweatshirt when you don't put it in the right cycle on the dryer until proven otherwise.
And I have an electric lint remover, so that's how much I hate them.
I got one too.
Man. I need one of those.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm gonna send you the link. I'll send you the link.
Now, if they, because being fair, this is a guy who's never been a head coach, to my knowledge.
Right.
So we don't know. We don't know. And we're gonna get to somebody else on this coaching carousel we talking about who we don't know. And people are knee jerking like crazy. And it's like, hey, we don't know. Cohen, and we'll leave it at that. Cohen he's one of them we don't know.
He could be legit. Yeah,
he
could be legit.
This guy could be coach of the year by the end of the season. This time next
no
year.
question. It's not an untalented roster.
Or he could be a complete flop, a complete dud.
It's not an untalented roster. Yeah. And you're in a division where really the only surefire quarterback is CJ Stroud.
Yeah. That's true.
To be honest, I love Anthony Richardson, but the only surefire QB is CJ Stroud. So you have a talented roster. You have a generational quarterback that just needs, apparently, this is what I've been hearing through media. He needs his confidence rebuilt. That's what I've heard in the last couple weeks.
Hold on, Tristan. What is Trevor Lawrence again?
A generational talent.
Okay, go ahead.
Apparently he needs his confidence rebuilt. That's the next excuse now. He needs his confidence rebuilt. Okay. So Cohen, that Duval help his confidence. help his confidence up.
Man, that was
that's exactly how you say it.
I'm not getting back to that. Dude, no, let me shut up. Oh my goodness, I was about to go
Duval.
I mean, it just seems so uncertain.
Okay? He's like, am I sure about this?
Like, then he shook his head like he needed a confirmation.
I tell you one thing he was sure about it. We're gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna say one last thing about this topic. We're gonna leave it alone. He was sure that he didn't want that GM now.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you see what happened when Trent Baalke got up out of there.
He's like, oh, never mind. Sorry, Tampa Bay, I'm going back to Jacksonville. Peace.
Now, Khan did do right by that. He said, wait, I'm losing all these coaching candidates because of you?
A lot of people. There was a lot of people. There were a lot of coaches like, nah, I'm good, dog. I'm good. Hey, we want you to interview for the man.
You said Baalke for saying? Oh, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
I'm good on that.
Yeah. So, and then another fallout from that last thing is that my team, the San Francisco 49ers, was able to reclaim their defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, because he was a candidate for that job. So,
and that defense is going to be hell on earth next year.
Liam Cohen can go ahead and do all he want. Hey, I was happy when I heard that he came back. They got rid of Baalke, and then Cohen came in there. I said, "Okay, we're gonna get our DC back."
That defense going because that was probably the best you've seen. That defense was under Saleh. That thing about to be hell on earth.
It's debatable between Saleh and the Fangio years.
Yeah, the Fangio. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Fangio years
Yo,
was something special
Fangio with the
Nasty.
49ers,
because
Nasty.
you had Willis and Bowman in the
And
middle,
Bowman in the middle.
and then you had
still in high
Alvin
school.
Smith off the edge. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
good lord, Justin Smith,
See
and
Justin
he was
Smith up the
5
middle
tech.
on the defensive line. Yep.
Yeah, he's a 5 tech. So, but yeah, no, let's not get into that. But yeah, I was just happy. That personally made me happy. That
3-4, baby.
But yeah, Cohen might be.
He could very well.
He
We
could.
don't-
We never
in
know.
a division that's wide open.
Yeah,
It's his
we
chance
don't
to
know.
prove himself.
We don't know. So, Pete Carroll was hired as the head coach
Great move.
of the
Great move by the
Las
Raiders.
Vegas Raiders.
Great
AFC
move.
West is loaded with head coaches.
We are, man.
Great.
The AFC
Great
West
move.
is loaded even more with head coaches. First, it was
Brilliant.
Andy Reid. Then it was Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Then it was Jim Harbaugh. And now it's Pete Carroll. God,
you got-
leave.
So what I'm looking forward to is the Harbaugh Carroll match. Because you think about USC and
USC.
and Stanford.
And Stanford. Mhm.
Yeah, for those of y'all who really know, yo, go back and think about that rivalry. Like,
Oh yeah.
what's your
That's
deal?
when college football was real fun to watch. Boy.
Yeah,
Man.
Sure.
But here's the thing: these first couple of years, Pete Carroll gonna be asking Jim Harbaugh, "What's your deal?"
Now here's it is.
That's
Now
Hey, listen, man.
here's what's interesting about the Raiders doing that. I didn't think Mark Davis could make good decisions, but this was a great decision because
Tom Brady helped him out.
You talk about I think it's definitely the Tom Brady effect because you talk about there are certain coaches that their whole purpose in life is to change the fortunes of your franchise. The one of them that rings the bell in my ears so quickly is Bill Parcells. You hire Bill Parcells for your franchise outside of Jerry, but you draft Bill Parcells. He gonna make your team. If you let him do what he wants to do, he gonna make your team at the very least competitive. And then if the next coach come in, and then you're gonna enjoy the fruits of Bill Parcells' labor. Pete Carroll is the same way. He did it in his first stint in the NFL with the Patriots, with the Jets. Then went over to USC when USC after the O.J. Simpson era, after the Junior Seau eras and all that stuff, they had a little lull. Pete Carroll comes in there, flips it around, basically had the Hollywood team with Matt Leinart, Lendell White, Reggie Bush, all them cats in there. Just made that whole dynasty right there. So, and then goes to Seattle, who also had a couple good years prior to him going there with Holmgren. But then he comes in there and then makes the Legion of Boom and gets beast mode from Buffalo, and it just what I'm saying. So
blew up.
It's a fantastic hire for a franchise that needs to be rebuilt and reshaped. It's the perfect hire. Now, so what I'm curious about is who the quarterback gonna be.
I was about to go there next. You stole my thunder a little bit.
I need to, but I got excited.
So here's my thought, and I really see this happening. Me and Brandon were talking about this in pre-production.
Yep, sure did.
I see Russell Wilson playing for the Raiders as a bridge quarterback, and I see Pete Carroll drafting a developmental guy behind Russell Wilson.
Look,
I would love for it to be Cam Ward if that was the case.
You know what? See, they picked 6 overall. So I don't know if anybody could fall to them. It's a possibility, but I'm not sure.
Let me see. What's the draft order?
So
okay, Tennessee, Cleveland.
1, Cleveland is 2, Giants is 3, New England is 4, and Jacksonville's 5, and then Vegas is 6.
So it's all 3 at the top can grab one because it's not they not sure if Titans gonna take Travis Hunter. They not sold on Will Levis. So
they're not.
Some people think it's Travis Hunter being number 1, but they can't be too sure.
And then Cleveland, they need a quarterback. I mean, and then
they
Giants,
need a quarterback.
And Giants need a quarterback too. So the Raiders will probably want to leapfrog somebody.
Yeah, they'll have to gamble unless they're willing. Unless they're willing, like you said, Eric. You get Russell Wilson. You don't not get a quarterback in this draft, but if you're terrible,
get a developmental guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta get somebody
You
in
either,
between round 2 and 4.
yeah,
Between
you get
round 2 and
development,
4,
and
you
there's a
gotta
lot.
get somebody.
You go
There's a
grab
lot.
a guy. So what you do is you go in, you go out, you grab a guy that's like, how can I put it? You know, maybe a Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Will
Not even
Howard.
him. I'm gonna
No,
tell you. I'm gonna tell you the
You
three. I'm
know,
gonna tell you the
somebody
three.
like that.
I know we're not in draft mode yet, but I'm gonna tell you the three. Y'all know because y'all know I watch quarterbacks. If they were to go that route to get a veteran and wait till later to get a developmental QB, the three that they need to pay attention to: Jackson Dart from Ole Miss,
yes,
Quinn Ewers,
yes.
and Will Howard. Those
I,
three.
see, those are two of the names I called. Because Quinn
Those
Ewers
three.
is not ready for the NFL, but he could be
Nope.
ready in about 3 years.
Yeah.
He
I'm
could be.
telling y'all right now, Milroe is not a quarterback in the NFL.
Yo,
This is not one of those. This
No,
is not one of those.
Milroe's a running back.
He's
did
an
you see what
athlete.
Milroe looked like?
He's a running back.
Milroe
Hey,
is jacked up, man. Pause. But that
I didn't
guy
have to
just
look.
like he look
I didn't
like
even have to
he's
look. The
he
East
look
West
he,
Shrine.
he look like he's competing for the world's strongest man competition.
He's a running back.
Yes,
Period.
he's
Period.
he's an athlete.
I said he's not a quarterback.
He's a running back.
He's an athlete. He's an
You're right.
athlete.
He's an athlete. Exactly.
Alabama had to put the most talented person at the quarterback position in order to do anything this season because
Mhm.
the quarterbacks they had were terrible.
Yeah.
So they had to put just the most talented kid. It's just like in high school. You put the most talented athletic kid at the QB position. So that's what happened with Alabama. But he is not an NFL quarterback. It's just
No,
not
he's
it.
not.
That's
He's not.
years. That is years of development. Years to get him
So
ready.
so kind of bringing it back home, I believe that the best move for the Raiders
Get Russell.
is to go ahead and sign Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Yes.
Bridge
Have
quarterback.
him be your bridge guy. Because let's be honest, the roster outside of Brock Bowers is pretty mundane.
Well,
Okay, it's
Matt
pretty
Crosby.
mediocre. And Crosby, but Crosby wants out right now. That's the rumors that Crosby wants to go somewhere.
Come on
else.
to the Commanders. Come on to the Commanders, dog.
So the roster's not going to be great anyway. So you bring in Russell Wilson as your bridge guy. You draft a kid day 2, and then you work it out later. You know, that's what I think you do. So that's a realistic scenario. I mean, you can't get any more realistic than that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what are the other options other than like almost wagering your entire draft to try to move up to grab a guy that's, you know?
I know Russell. I know Russell just spoke about steal a nation. That was before Pete Carroll got signed. And in my opinion, if I'm Russell, I want to go back to the coach that made me look like a Hall of Famer.
Facts.
I'm just saying, like,
and got me to the Super Bowl twice, winning one of them.
So I mean, my thing, I'm looking at it like
Could have
that's
won
what he's
two
done.
and handed off to Marshawn Lynch, but I'm not complaining.
Listen, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, you made Russell, he made you a borderline Hall of Famer because I still think you're a borderline Hall of Famer. He made you a borderline Hall of Famer. He made Geno get another contract. Look what he did with Matt Leinart. Look what he did with Mark Sanchez before they came into the NFL. Look how they were in USC. So I'm like, clearly Pete Carroll, he sees something. It's something he sees, even though he's a defensive-minded coach. But it's something. When it comes to quarterbacks, he kind of got an eye. He kind of know who's it and who's not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. If I'm Russell, I'm making that call.
So as we close that segment, Raiders fans don't get excited because it's going to be
Get Beast out of retirement.
It's going to be, he ain't coming.
Yeah.
But don't get excited because it's going to be a minute, Raiders fans. But you're in good hands.
2 years.
Provided that the front office doesn't just mess. But Tom Brady's there now, so you got some smarter decisions being made now.
If you can't nail a QB with Tom Brady, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey,
so yeah, it's going to be interesting in Las Vegas. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, the fly in the ointment, whatever you want to call it. The Dallas Cowboys have signed Brian Schottenheimer to be their next head coach. Now, Brian Schottenheimer has never been a head coach. He's had some play calling experience in his career. Um, but what's funny is the reaction of this particular hiring, given the names that were in play throughout this whole this hiring period.
Mhm.
You had Deion Sanders' name was thrown out there. Robert Sala's name creeped in a little bit.
Aaron Glenn before he got signed.
Aaron Glenn, and they were big splash names. And I'm gonna say my take about this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna defer to Steve and Brandon on this one.
Yeah, let me say mine next so I can let y'all have it.
Okay, so I'll go first. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna leave it at this. If you have any type of strong opinion about this hiring, you're knee-jerk and emotional. You're not thinking very, very, very well, because you don't. It's just like Liam Coleman in Jacksonville. You don't know what he's going to be as a head coach. You don't. There are a lot of Cowboy fans like, oh man, we could have got Deion, man, and shut your dumb ass up. I'm like, Deion, I've got to be real. Like, first of all, there's no guarantee Deion was going to be. It's about as much of a crapshoot as this guy. We don't know what Deion was going to be in the NFL. That's the first thing. So stop it, because you're just looking at the name, and you like, oh, Deion, no. Like you could have made the playoffs and choked just like Colorado did in this ball game. I'm just keeping it real. Okay, so stop it. All right, if you are like, oh yeah, we're back, baby, it's our year, you're stupid. Okay, because you don't know. Now he has a reasonable resume. He's had some experience calling plays, but he's never been a head coach. Let's see what happens. Okay? That's the thing. Let's see what happens. Any strong opinion, whether it's negative or positive, about Brian Schottenheimer is just knee-jerk and frankly lowbrow. You're not really thinking. So, don't come for me unless I call you because I ain't got your number, but I said what I said. So you have to wait and see what he's going to be. And quite frankly, I don't have a problem with Jerry Jones with this decision, because he's going against the grain. Normally, Jerry Jones wants to hire somebody or sign somebody that's a big splash so he can rule the media cycle. So everybody's talking about this big coaching. Are the Cowboys back? Are the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl with this hiring? Just because of the name. He did something different. And here's the thing. If you do the same thing and expect different results, what are you, gentlemen?
Insane in the membrane.
Exactly. So kudos to him for just trying something different. Look. Let me be clear, because there's some people in here that I ain't got the time of the crayons to explain that's going to be watching this later. Everybody, he said, no, let me be clear. I'm not saying he's going to be great. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I can't put it no plainer than that. I'm sorry. Okay? But what I'm saying is you don't know until you let him actually coach the team. Okay? And I'm done. Tristan, tag.
So here's the thing. I'm going to speak for he spoke for the rational Cowboys fans. I'm going to speak for the irrational Cowboys fans. What I need Jerry Jones to understand is that the mystique of the star is no longer. And I'm not even saying that to be a troll. What I'm saying is there is an entire generation that does not understand the mystique of the star. There's an entire generation that the only way they can recollect success championships is if they go on YouTube or if they try to find an old dusty VHS tape to put in an old dusty VCR. That is where we are for the Dallas Cowboys at this current juncture. Yes, have you had great regular seasons? Yes, 12-5, 12-5, and all that jazz. But the fact that you guys are the only team, this is including the Lions, this is including the Commanders, the only team in the NFC that has not sniffed a conference championship, not even to win it, just to be there in the last 2 decades. That's a problem for to be the brand outside of the Raiders. Yeah, 3 decades outside of the Raiders to be the brand of the NFL. To be quite honest, so but Jerry still hangs on this thing of the mystique. Here's the thing: it's not even against Brian Schottenheimer. That's not even because I think he might do just fine. He might be the one. He might be the chosen one. He might be. But here's the thing that gave me cause to pause because I actually listened to that press conference when Jerry said, "You guys think I don't know how to take risks? I took risk purchasing the Dallas Cowboys years ago. I took risks with hiring Jimmy Johnson years ago. Yeah,
Doing
you
them damn
also
Reese.
fired him. You also fired him, Jerry. You fired him in the middle of a dynasty run. In the middle of a dynasty run. Like so so when he said that out of his mouth, I said, okay, I don't have high expectations. Because that kind of tells me what I need to know. Now again, we could be wrong. But recent history has shown that more than likely we might be correct. And then here's also the problem. I don't even think it's the fact that he took a risk. I think he didn't have options because I think we're now coming in. Now, I just said we're in an era where the fans of this generation don't know the success of the Dallas Cowboys like that unless they look at YouTube or get an old VHS tape. I think we're going into a generation of coaches that have been watching you, Jerry, run your team, and they're like, I want no parts of that. I want no parts. Your quarterback that has been hurt, what, 2 out of the last 3 seasons, two out of the last 4 seasons, that like season-ending injuries. His cap number is about to smack you in the face next year. You still gotta sign Micah Parsons. I understand restructuring, but you're just kicking the inevitable big can down the road. You're in a spot where you're asking a coach, any viable coach with any respect, you're asking them to come in there to do things your way, to put people on their staff that you pick, because that was one of the stipulations. Jason Witten had to be on staff for you to get the job. These are things that you're doing that's making these valuable coaches say, oh, absolutely not. I'm not going to waste my time. But these other guys that just want a chance to get the title of head coach on their resume are going to take it and will deal with your shenanigans. You have to get out of your own way. Now, I'm not going to be like all these other crazy Cowboys fans that's like, we got to wait for Jerry Jones to die. I don't wish death on nobody. But what you do have to understand, Jerry, is that you are really in a delusional state. And until you have a come to Jesus moment, I don't know if Reverend Michael Irvin need to come and talk to you personally or something. Dion, one of them preaching people that you got around you, somebody got to come talk to you and get you out of your head. You need to step aside and let the new generation handle the business. You write the checks. You are Jerry Jones. You already got a gold jacket. There's nothing for you to prove. There's nothing for you to prove. You have a bust in Canton. There is nothing for you to prove, Jerry. Step aside, enjoy your riches, and let somebody rebuild the star as you proclaim. That's all I gotta say. Y'all got it. I didn't even mean to go that long, but I just felt it in my spirit.
You cook, man. That's hard to follow that. I don't got much, man. I think
let him cook.
He cooked big time. You did too, E. I'm just glad we moved on from Mike McCarthy. I just wanted to change, man. I'm always going to support internal hires. I am in any facet of business, man. So I'm with that, and we don't know what we had in him. We knew what we had in McCarthy, and we needed to change. And I'm cool with that, man. We'll see what happens. I would prefer someone with successful head coaching experience, but I'm not mad at the hire, man. We'll see what happens. Go ahead, B.
I'm fine with the hire. I'm not gonna sit and say he's gonna take us to the Super Bowl or anything, but I'm fine with the hire. Um, he does want to win one, and because his dad, the Marty Schottenheimer, never won one, so he would like to get one for him. He did mention that in the press conference. So I'm rooting for him a little bit more just because of that, not just because he's a Cowboys head coach, but just because of what he said. Um, he's gonna have more say, not only just be the play caller, but of course he's gonna have way more say in the design of the offense. So I'm very interested in seeing what that's gonna look like. Um, but like Eric said, man, you really can't get too high or too low about this thing yet because you just don't know who he is. You really don't. He's never been a head coach. He's called plays. I said in our group chat when he called plays in Seattle, Russ Wilson had some of his best years in Seattle for 3 years. He called plays with the Rams. I don't know who the Rams quarterback was. I'm assuming Sam Bradford or something like that. So, whatever. But, I think it's going to be somewhat successful. Now, how successful, I don't know. But I do think it's going to be somewhat successful. But we'll find out. I'm interested in seeing what happens. I do like the move, though.
What I will say that would give me a sense of hope that he would be good is that if he has the philosophies of his daddy. Because,
What do you mean? What do you mean
because
by that?
I might explain to you. I think I think his father's philosophies were pretty good. I think some of it was I think he was a little ahead of his time. I always felt like that. I felt like he was a little ahead of his time in terms of how he coached because I feel like he could coach. I feel like he'd be able to coach in this era if he wanted to.
Who,
I,
Marty?
I yeah, because of how he was so good with the players, how he kind of connected with the players, and because people got to understand, he got a raw deal. He had a raw deal with Washington.
Oh, my
That was one
God.
of Dan Snyder's. That was one of Dan Snyder's big. That was one of the big red flags of the Dan Snyder era.
It was. It was. And oh, my God,
that
I'll never
that
forget
was a
that.
huge red flag. I
Yes.
think he had a raw. I think he had a raw deal with the Chargers. I think he had a
Yeah.
raw deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I felt like if those franchises were a little more patient, I think you would have seen the success that they wanted to see at the time with him. But I think he was ahead. Even some interviews, you know how NFL films always do these little things, highlights these coaches and whatever, and you get these little snippets. I remember used to listen to Marty and how he talked about the players, and I really think he would fit in this era of coaching because he always wanted to understand the players' thought process, their personalities. He didn't really care what their personalities were because he felt like he could get into their soul and find a way to connect, and it would make them play for him. Which, for the most part, that's what you saw. But that takes patience to have a coach do that with your team, and that was something that those franchises didn't have patience for back then because they wanted somebody to do the results now. If he has any kind of philosophy, mental philosophy like that, in regards of how to approach players and get the players to play for him, I think they would be okay because I think Dallas doesn't lack talent in some cases. Some cases they really do need talent, but there's some cases that they don't. It's not that they lack, but they lack the button pusher that makes them go. And that's what I felt was always missing. Not even just with McCarthy's teams, but even the team some of Jason Garrett teams. It just that one person that can push the button to make them go extra. I just felt like they just didn't have that.
How about we just get somebody that tell Micah Parsons to get off that damn podcast?
Oh, that too.
Well, nah, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one because I know something that's happened the last few hours. But anyway, I think Brian actually might be that guy though.
I think so.
I think Brian might be that guy. I think Brian has been around his father long enough because when Marty
I,
was when Marty was the head coach of Washington, he was the QB coach, and I think
yep.
he followed his father with the Chargers. So I think he's been around his father long enough to kind of know how to connect with players. Matter of fact, I've heard a couple Dallas Cowboy content creators say, "Look, man, this guy's been a leader of men, and he does know how to connect with players. They watched him from afar, but also still like close enough to, get a feel for that." So I think Brian might be able to. I think Brian might be. I'm not guaranteeing it, but he might be the second coming of his own father.
I didn't mind his press conference. It was Jerry that was disturbing me.
Yeah, I
But
know.
what Brian was saying was not bad.
But Patricia, you know Jerry. We all know Jerry.
That's the problem.
I know.
It's one thing. It's one thing to have an owner that just talks. It's another thing when you have an owner that talks and actually dictates what's going on. That's
I
a
know.
dangerous thing.
I know. All right. Let's move on to these
Want to add
NFC.
one more thing. The Saints still don't have a coach. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, the
Which
Saints.
is-
Yeah, hey, listen. Hold on.
Can we stop right there? Can we park right there?
Yeah, you read my mind because I was about to say, look, I want to spend about 5 or 10 minutes on that. Listen, and Trish, I already know where you're going with because I'm about to say the same thing too. You have a team that has yet to hire a head coach, who don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be. You don't know who. They are so far over the cap, it's ridiculous. They picked 9th overall in the draft, so they're not going to be able to get one of these first round quarterbacks.
No.
But I will say this, and I said this also in the group chat too. They're gonna have to cut Derek Carr. They're going to cut Taysom Hill.
Post June 1st. Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna have
to get 30 million.
They got to cut some other players, and I know this gonna hurt Saints fans because this man's from Louisiana. But Honey Badger gotta go too.
Honey Badger gotta go. Yep.
And
the
not just from Louisiana, he's from New Orleans.
Right. Okay. So there you go.
The price too high. The price too high. It's just
and then here's my thing. I'm not saying Chris Olave is trash, but I would trade him and try to get some draft picks because there's no need to pay him this.
Because you're not gonna do no favors. Yeah, you're not gonna do no favors.
You wasting his prime years.
Right. Exactly. So
that's not gonna be good for a minute.
So that's why you need to go and trade him.
I'm sorry, Brandon. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
With that, I'm gonna tag you in next, T. When you have with that first round pick, I think what did you say, number 9, you need to take the best player available, and you need to do what the Raiders are doing as well. Get yourself a bridge quarterback, and then draft one of those quarterbacks between rounds 2 and 4, and develop him for 2026. But other than that, that's really what the Saints need to do. They need to get rid of some of that cap. Now they will have cap space in 2026, 2027, a ton of it.
Yep.
But you need to get under the cap this year, and then you need to just, like I say, just need to start building your roster. Just take the best player available, each pick.
So this is
what
you're good. So this is what I think is the problem. I don't know for certain. I used to have a connect down there, but they don't work for the local broadcast team, local broadcast station down there no more. So I can find out these things. But here's what I think the problem is. I think that this organization is making these coaches feel like they can compete in that division right now. And I think these coaches are like, nah, you guys are like 3 years out. Yeah. Because you got to completely rebuild this thing from the ground up. Yeah. You're one of the older teams in the league.
Yes.
And you are strapped for this upcoming season with no certainty on the quarterback position at all. In a division.
I'm gonna drop a hot take when you talk about the division. You about to talk about the division right now.
With a division
the Panthers are gonna be better next year than the Saints.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think so. It's a hot take, but I agree with you.
Listen. I've said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like,
it's just because I said when Bryce Young came back and became the starter, they were already eliminated for the playoffs, so they could use this tape and legitimate game film, regular season tape, go through it in the offseason, see what worked, see what didn't, make the corrections in the offseason, move forward, and build your roster around him because now Bryce Young is like playing legitimate quarterback in the NFL.
The best thing that could have happened to the Panthers was that the switch went on for Bryce Young.
Yes.
At the end of the season. That was the best thing that could have happened to them. Because it's like, ooh, okay, so we got one. And so you're in a division now. Well, I think we all can see that Michael Penix is probably going to be a dog. Bryce Young, the switch click.
And Tampa Bay beat the ceiling.
Right. And but Baker will steady. He'll steady the ship. He'll steady the ship. So you are not in a place to do anything. You gambled with bringing Derek Carr because that's what you did. That's what made you get Chris Olave and all that stuff because you said we got Derek Carr. It didn't
Yep.
work out.
Right.
It didn't work out. So you got to start over. You got to start over, and you're not going to be able to start over till after next season. So you got to have a coach that's a visionary to say this is a overall 5-year plan, and you got to be okay with that.
And
5 to 6
to
years.
and they're gonna have to be. They're gonna have to be okay with it. They're gonna have to be okay with that. You know, in our NFL chat, the guys that we do, they're like, you know, they understand that like this is gonna be a work in progress and not something that's gonna happen overnight. So Who Dat Nation, y'all gonna have to understand that it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna be a minute. And if you do it the right way, you'll be around for a long time once you get up.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take a while to get up.
And right now,
Mickey Loomis has put the team, he has put the team in hock. And we talked about it a lot in the past.
Because he gambled.
About okay, they starting off this season 80 million over the cap. By the time the season,
he gambled.
He kept kicking that can. He kept kicking that can down the road, man. He just
gambled.
because I never forget. A few years ago, I think they were like $100-something million over the cap. Philadelphia's right behind them at like $70 or $80 million, and you know they just kept kicking the can down the road, and it's caught up to them. And you know they've been over the cap over the last 2, 3, 4 years. But that's why I said now's the time to just start fresh. You need to start fresh with that team, man. You need to just cut players with high contracts. Trade Chris Olave, get it. You can get a first-round pick for Chris Olave.
You can because outside of the concussions, he's a stud.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm sure somebody. Hold on.
People gonna be leery about the concussions. He's had 3.
Okay. Yeah.
He's had like 3, 4.
That's right. Yeah, it's a high number.
So people are going to be leery about that. But he's a stud, though. He is a stud.
Well, okay. Even if you don't get a first-round pick for him, you can get at least a second for him.
Yeah, you get a 2. You can get a 2.
You can get a 2. You can definitely get a 2 for him. So and that's why I said just keep taking the best player available. I think right now the lead candidate for the Saints is Kellen Moore.
It looks like it. Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
I don't know either, but
I was in the middle of my take.
I think you froze, and so then we just me and T took over, but yeah, Saints, man, that team.
And
yeah.
If it's Kellen Moore, I think it's beautiful because I think what better way to have a first-time head coach, young, grow and learn how to be a head coach and build this thing the way he sees it. I think it would be beautiful. People, listen, man. I said this. We just didn't. The show didn't exist yet. I said this on my other show with Mikkel years ago when Kellen Moore was still playing at Boise. I said Kellen Moore ain't gonna be no starting NFL QB, but dang it, he gonna be a heck of a coach when it's time because that man is a genius. When you watch him at Boise State play QB, you're like, that's a coach. And
my only pushback was that but hopefully he has grown, especially in Philadelphia.
Do you see what he's doing in Philly?
Huh?
You see what he's doing in Philly? He running the football. That's growth.
But you know why he's running the football? Because he sees that Saquon Barkley is able to run the football the way he's able to run the football.
Which means he's going to look for.
That's kind of a no-brainer.
But here's the thing, though. I know this guy's older. I know the name I'm about to say is older, but people forget. Alvin Kamara could ball. Alvin Kamara has just been handicapped by stupidity of the coach.
No, I know. Hold on. My problem. I'm not saying I'm saying Kellen Moore might have grown in Philadelphia because of the adjustment he's been able to make by having Saquon Barkley run the football. Okay, I'll give him a little. I'm not giving him as much credit as you are. I'll give him some credit. Okay, but my thing is, he needs to bog down what his system really is because he's all over the place. And who was it? I think it was Michael Lombardi that even complained about him. Like, look, I don't know what he is when it comes to offense. He's all over the
What if
place
he's
with
a
his offense.
but what if he's like a chameleon? What if he's a kind of coach? There's some coaches that can look at their roster and be like, okay, I know what offense to put for that. So it don't have to be I only do this way. He might say, I can look at this roster, I know what to do for that.
Well, of course, if you're an offensive coach, you do what's best for your roster based on your personnel. I think he had. I don't know how to explain it because I don't have the
You don't
depth
know
of.
you don't know what his calling card is. That's what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
everybody has a calling card. And
right,
you don't know what his is.
right.
I get you. That's fair.
Well, again, I'm gonna stand on business when I say that if you have Saquon Barkley as your premier back, it's a no-brainer to run the ball
And with
The
the
Giants.
offensive line too.
and
What
run
offensive line?
and run the ball. They did against Tristan's
Not too
Commanders.
much. Not too much.
Okay, so I'm just segueing into the next segment.
Not too much.
But the first of all, let me
Not
say
too much, Eric. Not too
Let me-
much, Eric.
wait. Hey, let me say this, okay? The Commanders were playing with house money, okay?
And their head above water.
And they have put the whole conference on notice.
Okay, nobody had the Commanders in the playoffs in
Nope.
the off season. Okay, if you said that you had the Commanders in the playoffs, you are insane. You did
Yeah.
not.
Or I
see
need
it.
you to run me them numbers.
You're
Run me
lying.
the $1 million numbers.
Okay, so the first thing first was the fact that they played as well, and Jaden Daniels just went off. Okay, this season. The second thing is slowly that defense started to gel. They're not quite ready yet, but then they made it to the playoffs. Then they turned around and won a surprisingly big upset of a game against the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So we knew that this train was going to stop eventually, and I picked them to not win the game, and I was 2-0 in this in my picks this week, but you can't. And I'm gonna put it like this, and several people have said this, and I share that sentiment. This is the worst you're going to see the Washington Commanders,
and that's scary.
For a long time.
That's scary.
They're going to be better. They have a crap ton of cap space. They have a plethora of draft picks, and they have very few holes to fill. The defense needs a lot of work. The offensive line needs some work. You possibly need a number 2 for Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry.
Okay, so while the Eagles won that game, I really feel like the onus was on the Commanders and what type of season they had. And a lot of people, like, oh, the Eagles, blah 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 blah. Come on, man, y'all supposed to win that game. That's y'all didn't do nothing special. But the what really got me was, and then that, there's some people, and I'm about to tag out in a second. There are some people that's like just completely just ignorant, just dumbass takes like, oh, I told you the stage was too big for Jaden Daniels. Shut your ass up.
No, actually, it was.
Jaden Daniels was like, let's go play football. The stage was too big for the rest of the team.
The rest of the team.
All right, Jaden Daniels has proved that he belongs in postseason football, and when he gets the weapons around him, when he gets the support, when he gets the defense that can get him the ball back, then you're gonna see some stuff. This is clear cut the offensive rookie of the year we're talking about here. Clear cut. I dare you to say somebody else's name that they could even compare to what this young man has done this season.
About as clear as it can be.
And so you blaming this game, this loss on Jaden Daniels. You need to quit football. Quit watching it. Hell, don't even play Madden. Unplug the damn PlayStation. Okay? Steve, it's your fault. So, because you know what I'm talking about with that BS take. Okay,
Wait,
so this your fault, Steve. It's your fault. It's your fault. You know what I'm talking about.
Look at Steve.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So if you trying to say, well, the stage was too big for Jaden Daniels, that's why they lost the game. You don't know football. You need to stop. Okay, don't
Just
even
look
play
at
Tecmo Bowl no damn more. Okay,
just look at the time of possession. Look at the time of
exactly.
possession. It's a clear indicator. And every time he had the ball, he was driving. It just
And did
wasn't until
not put the ball in
somebody
harm's
fumbled.
way.
No,
Did not.
no, I don't. That people were trying to say, "Oh, he threw an interception." Don't count that interception. Don't count. That was a heave. It's a
No.
desperation
Yeah,
trying
that
to
was
do
he.
something.
That's not. Oh, I'm trying to read the defense and I read wrong. No,
No,
that wasn't that. So
No, hold on.
outside of that,
What's my fault?
Steve, we're gonna get to that later when we get out the end post production.
No, you're not gonna.
I'm mad right now
No.
because it's your fault. Okay, but that polluted the group. I'm just saying.
He won't remember.
Okay.
I don't even want to give any real credit to the
I got you.
outside of how well Saquon Barkley played, and the defense played relatively well.
That defense,
because it's the number one defense. Yeah, the Vic Fangio's defense. I'm never gonna take anything away from Vic Fangio. You get props for Saquon Barkley. You get props for that magnificent defense. But what I will not give you props for is Jalen damn Hurts. Okay, you're not getting props for that. Okay, Jalen Hurts has thrown for under 200 damn yards for the last how many games? Brandon, has it been
500 games? Dude.
And I don't want to hear, well, he only got 2 because we got Saquon. No. In that game, Philadelphia won that game, but the best quarterback was on the sideline for the Commanders.
Hey, listen. The Commanders' trajectory is so much higher than Philadelphia's.
Thank you. Come on,
it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And I even told one of the coaches yesterday when I went to practice. Because the players working out, and I told him, I said, look, the Commanders literally put the whole conference on notice. If they didn't put the whole league on notice, they at least put the whole conference on notice. So you're gonna have the Commanders next year. You're gonna have the Eagles. You're gonna have, a healthy Detroit Lions, a healthy 49ers team. Green Bay. We'll see what happens with Minnesota, but Minnesota was, will still be around. But nobody from the NFC South is a threat. Cowboys will be down. Giants will definitely be down.
Listen, it's only what's today? Wednesday. It's only been like 3 days since they've been out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
the local radio said already that Adam Peters has been getting calls from agents,
absolutely,
for their players to come play in Washington.
I'm not surprised.
Let's get back to the game. I mean, listen, Jaden Daniels, like we said, put the team on his back. Those fumbles were at the wrong time because the game was
wrong
close.
time. It was close.
The momentum was on Washington's way, and if you watch the game, you realize that. I mean, players have to hold on to the ball in certain situations.
Yes,
So if those fumbles don't happen, I don't know how this game goes. Washington.
It'd be a lot closer.
Very winnable game for Washington. Very winnable game.
It'd have been a lot closer because the Eckler fumble is really what kind of really broke everything, because that was like, okay, we don't know what else to do. That was really what, because the game plan was to keep the possessions away from the Eagles, because you knew you weren't stopping Saquon. You knew you weren't doing anything. And he came out first play, he touched the ball, 60 yards, gone. So you knew. You're like, okay, So when Jaden's marching with the ball, and then you get a fumble, then defense tries to hold him a little bit. You go on kick return, fumble. You go out there again, offense. The Eagles score. You go out there again. All right, you score some points. Terry scores. Cool. All right, so now we're trying to make headway. And then another fumble. And then after a while, the defense is out there too much. They're getting exhausted. They're getting tired. It was just a domino effect.
It was 14-12 at one point.
14-12.
I think you guys had the ball and then a fumble.
So I mean,
those turn, man, They happened at the wrong time. Ain't like y'all were down 14-0, then you fumble. It was like,
and we've been one of the better teams in the NFL protecting the ball all year. It's why we were winning the games we were winning. So this was our worst game as far as protecting the ball. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. As a Washington fan, this is the first time I've legitimately.
Yeah.
I used to have to, like, y'all know, I used to have to kind of talk myself into like, okay, maybe we can. I literally could just sit back and just like, I can just sit back and watch because I'm like, it's all going to come together. Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Trish, I got one question for you, and I know you and I spoke, for a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
How long is your window open for? Is it like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? What do you feel like?
No, because I have too much respect. Listen, here's the thing, and you're right. We talked about this earlier. I have too much respect for the 49ers organization. I have too much respect for Dan Campbell and what they've done in Detroit. I honestly have respect for the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles. I do. I think the teams in my mind in the near future that I'm like, okay, we got to make some headway before they really start humming again. 49ers, Detroit, Green Bay, Philadelphia. I think the whole NFC North, really, because I think Ben Johnson will make the Bears good. So
the Bears and you can't leave out Minnesota. As long
and
as
you can't leave out Minnesota. So it's like there's a lot to look forward to. And I know how Eric feels about the Rams and feels about Matt Stafford, but that's a talented young roster. It's not an old roster. So all those things I put in consideration
quarterbacks
as far as what could be done. I do think it's a legit 5-year window because James not going to get worse. When he was in college, this is the same thing. First year, showed some talent, had to feel it out. Next year, boom, he exploded. He did that at Arizona State. Went to LSU first year, showed some talent, showed some promise. Next year, boom, Heisman Trophy. Like, so this is a proven aspect of him that once he feels it and he's like, okay, this is what the NFL gives me. Okay, I got you. So the window is now for Washington for sure. Where we thought we needed 2-3 years to open the window is right here, right now.
Okay.
Well, going from a team whose window is just opening and fairly because they're just playing well to a team who has no window, is just the frame is gone, it's just a hole in the side of the house because
it's just an ocean.
Because they get help from the refs all the time.
The abyss.
Yeah, and they did it again this weekend. Let's talk about how annoying the Kansas City Chiefs are for a few minutes before we close out. And we can also talk about how it's become blatant and when they're not even hiding it anymore. That basically they are just, I'm like, how are they allowing this to happen? How is the NFL allowing this to happen for this long? Like, seriously. So what I'm talking about is it was a very close game. It's in the fourth quarter. Buffalo was driving to, I believe, tie the game up, and it was a 3rd and 1.
Mm-hmm.
There was a flat pass thrown to Kincaid by Josh Allen. Kincaid clearly crosses the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
You had one side judge come in and saying he got it. Then the next one comes in after him behind the line of the game saying he didn't get it. Okay, cool. We gonna go for it. All right. Josh Allen takes it himself on a keeper. He crosses the line to gain, and I wish we had the clip working, but he crosses the line to gain, and they mark him almost 2 feet short. At this point, the game is decided. So, and as I'm saying this right now, somebody just came in here and threw a flag at me because I'm talking about the Chiefs.
I can't.
So, yeah. So, while I'm having this take right now, somebody just threw a flag at me. So, yeah, because I'm talking about the Chiefs. Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to have our Super Bowl predictions on next week's show.
Yeah.
But, I mean, damn. I do not believe And hands off to Steve Spagnuolo. I think he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. But
Yes, he is.
But
Yes, he is.
they're beatable. They're beatable. And there are a lot of games that Kansas City has won that they should not have won, including Super Bowls.
Oh, there is at least 5 or 6 games this season alone
Yeah,
that they should have lost.
and this goes back. This goes back further than that.
And,
You know,
and the thing is,
the blatant
my
holdings
bad.
that they don't call.
Mhm.
You know, if somebody breathes too hard on Pat Mahomes, it's a personal foul.
I think the thing is that because some people might look at this like, oh no, like oh here you go, more people hating on the Chiefs and all that. It's not that. It's that when you can go to every game, especially this season. I'm not even going to count the years past. This season alone, when you can go to every single game and find one or two real questionable calls, and the only reason why I'm saying one or two, I mean one or two that potentially decided the game. When you can go to almost every game and pinpoint one or two calls that decided the game, that's what makes people feel the way they feel. It's not like it was like, oh, this one game here you had favor, or maybe a couple games here you had favor. Almost every game this season that they played, I'm trying to remember, because after a while, I got tired of watching them. I'm trying to remember the last game that I saw where they dominated, and it's like, okay, yeah, you just flat out beat the brakes off that team. Like you all the games for the most part, there was just one or two calls that gave them an opportunity. It either gave them a first down when they were supposed to get turnover on downs. It was either a penalty that gave them the necessary yardage for the field goal kick. It was a penalty that gave them necessary yardage to put the other team back, to put them out of field goal range to win the game. It was always something. And this one was another game because there's no way. I almost want to try and play the clip again, but I don't like to put bad quality up. But I almost this one watching Josh Allen. I've seen QBs, especially Josh Allen's side. So I'm talking like the Cam Newton, Ben Roethlisberger, all these guys that have leaned like that. And the nose of the ball, Josh Allen knew what he was doing. He put the ball in his left arm to lean the ball over to cross. How is that not a first down?
That's
How is that not a first down? Even if they try to say, well, he was pushed back. So what happened to forward progression? That doesn't exist anymore? Because he clearly got forward. Like, what are we talking about?
Forward progress does not exist in Kansas City Stadium.
It's those, and the thing is, I appreciate great players. I do. So I don't like to talk about this because I feel like it diminishes the greatness of Patrick Mahomes because I do believe he's great. But when these things happen and it's so egregious, it would almost be ignorant for us to dismiss it and just say, "Oh, the Chiefs are just being the Chiefs and being great. Patrick Mahomes is just being awesome." Yes, he is awesome. But the rest favor you, man.
Yeah, this is next level.
They really didn't. So I'm looking at the record, the games this year. They didn't really dominate anybody this year too much. Maybe Pittsburgh might be your best bet towards the end of the season, but that's with Russell Wilson falling apart. So
it's like even the run, even the touchdown run. I'm like so nobody wanted to tag him. Nobody wanted to tag him. Why didn't they want to tag him though? Because they scared of the flag.
Because we talked about it. We were talking about it as we were watching it live, and we were Marco Polo, and it was like, why is nobody rocking his shit? Like he's right there.
He ain't Lamar. This ain't blazing speed passing.
Listen, the
man was basically stumbling into the end zone, and he was 8 yards out.
Listen, the last time the Chiefs, at least during the regular season, dominated somebody was week 3 last year against the Bears, 41-10.
Yeah,
and that's when the Bears were dismal.
And this is statistically, I mean, Pat Mahomes' worst season in his career.
Yeah,
he's been getting saved by two things: the defense and the officials. And
he didn't Pro Bowl.
And you have some people who are basically, you know, Brock Purdy is a doggone Pro Bowl alternate and not even Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, that's
You know,
how
it's like,
bad he was this year. That's how bad he
Dude,
was this year.
listen. I had Patrick Mahomes on my fantasy team. I had to keep him on the bench.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally had to keep him on the bench. I'm not getting nothing
He
with
hurt
him.
a lot. He hurt a lot of people's fantasy this year.
You know, it's something when it's fans of 31 other teams, people who have no dog in the fight that watch a Chiefs game and say, what the heck? Y'all not gonna call that? It's not just and let's be clear, folks that are watching at home. It's not just the teams that lost. Oh, y'all just salty, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's starting to see it now. You got teams that's like, oh man, that's whack. That's whack. That's a horrible call, or that's a horrible no call.
You got people that broadcast the game that says the same thing.
Thank you, Troy. I remember one game, Troy was like, oh, come on. Like that. I forgot. I think that was a game against Houston.
It was against Houston. Yep, it was.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, and you got the whole scenario that we were talking about with Josh Allen on the fourth down, and before that, Dalton Kincaid, excuse me. Think my Grell quarterback. But Dalton Kincaid and the Josh Allen play, Gene Scarator, who's the officiating guy that comes in, he's like, hey, that was a first down. Tony Romo's going, hey, it's a first down. And then they don't mark it. And it's like, come on now.
Don't understand.
Have people who are supposed to be completely unbiased, and you have people who are obviously unbiased speaking up and saying something about these calls. Plus, we don't like looking at Taylor Swift, so that's another thing. But I ain't gonna get into that. But you know
what? I'm not going to get into it. Thank you, Eric. Because
okay,
I
like a back scratcher.
I was about to go off.
I'm gonna be quiet.
I was going to go off. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Be quiet.
Thank you, Eric.
I'm tired.
I'm glad. Listen.
She's shaped like a roux spoon.
I was about to be proud of you, man. I was just about to be proud of you, Eric. I was just close, man.
Do y'all know what a roux spoon is? Down south we make gumbo. And it's this wooden spoon. It's kind of like a flat spatula. And you use it to stir the roux before you make your gumbo. Taylor Swift shaped like a roux spoon.
Steve said I was this close.
Hey.
All thoughts don't reflect the thoughts of each member on this podcast.
Eric, do me a favor. Spell that for me.
ROUX. Roux. Spoon.
Say the tagline, Steve.
I'm just saying.
One of those. Okay.
Because you put your Holy Trinity in there.
Eric and Brandon, before y'all even continue, go ahead, say it clear, Steve.
The thoughts of one member on this podcast does not reflect the thoughts of all members on this podcast.
I'm just saying, if you making a gumbo and you don't have a roux spoon, you can use one of Taylor Swift's legs. Okay. You fry the sausage and andouille, and then in that grease, you take the sausage out, you put your Holy Trinity in.
Eric,
what?
Relax.
And you put.
I ain't doing all that. I am tired. I am tired of the Taylor Swift thing. Can't see it. Okay, for 1 year it was cute. Okay, we're done. We don't have to. We don't because we ain't highlighting everybody wives. I don't care. We're not highlighting everybody wives. This is football. We're talking about football.
All I'm saying is I like to see Sierra when Russell Wilson do something. I'm just saying.
Y'all don't talk about Sierra. Y'all don't talk about Simone Biles.
She's shaped like a Coke bottle. Hey, that thing no. I'm just
I
saying.
ain't talking about that. I'm just saying there's other NFL players that got celebrity wives with rings, not girlfriends. So
have y'all seen George Kittle's wife? She bad too. They don't never show her. But no, we gotta look at this. I knew you were in trouble when you walked in. That's what we gotta look at.
Steve, do the tagline again.
The thoughts of one member does not reflect the thoughts of all members on this podcast.
And the haters gonna hey. The players gonna right here. This right here. This is what we gotta look at. Right here.
Eric, Wusa, Bad Boys 2. Hey, look, man, grab your earlobes and woosah, okay? Can you do that? Bad Boys 2, okay? Do that.
It's
Come
bad
on.
enough they cheating and winning, and
Hey,
then we got to
hey,
look at the human
Pando.
number 2 pencil up there celebrating.
Pando.
anyways, needless to say, I am an NFL traditionalist. I am not mad at seeing history happen with a three-peat just because I've never seen it. It's never been done. But I'm not rooting for the Eagles. I just would not be upset if Saquon get a ring because of what the Giants did.
I'm rooting for the Meteor.
Y'all see who I'm rooting for? Y'all see my tagline? The halftime show gonna be lit. I'm rooting for Kendrick, baby. Kendrick Lamar.
I'm rooting for the Meteor, and I like K Dot, but yeah, I'm rooting for them.
This be the first time that I'm looking forward to the halftime show since 2013
Can they
when
both?
when Seattle kicked the Broncos in the teeth.
Hey, y'all remember that? Y'all remember on the Dark Knight Returns on Batman when they had Hines Ward, he's playing for the Gotham Gangsters, and he's running back that kick, and the whole stadium blew up.
Stadium caved in.
I'm rooting for that.
Yeah, my MVP is gonna be Kendrick Lamar, just like it was Bruno Mars back when the Seahawks obliterated the Broncos.
I'm rooting for Bane before Kendrick Lamar get there. Bane.
Do you know how sorry? Let me just reflect. You know how terrible that 2013 Super Bowl was. I actually was dating a girl that time. This is before I met my wife, y'all. I was actually dating a girl that time, and went to a Super Bowl party to watch that, and it was the most boring Super Bowl I've ever seen. Like Bruno really saved the night. He really did. Shout out to Bruno Mars, man. That halftime show was great. That was a boring Super Bowl. My God.
Too many games from the NFL, and now you must pay at your precious Super Bowl. I'm rooting for Bane. I'm rooting for Bane. I'm just
man. Listen, I think.
But on the real, if Saquon get the ring, I'll be happy. I think it's just the feather on the cap for the Giants.
Yes, it will be. I think Kansas City ends up. I'm not making my prediction. I am, but I'm not saying. Well, whatever. Anyway, I think Kansas City is going to win just because we're going to get the 3-peat, and then I think next season we'll get a new Super Bowl champion. I don't know who's it's going to be, but I think next year
we'll calling games fair.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I think but here's the thing, Brandon. I don't know, man, because just like how people feel about Washington, this might be the worst that we see with Kansas City. Listen,
I know it's the worst we've seen with Kansas City, especially on offense. Listen, I just said
they're going to revamp this thing.
Hey, Tristan, I just said that I had Mahomes on my fantasy team. I had to keep him on the bench.
And listen, shout outs to my sis Ashley Baker, who we're going to have on the show eventually. I told her on draft night, I said, if the Chiefs draft Xavier Worthy, it's curtains. And lo and behold, I told her, draft Xavier Worthy is gonna be curtains. And you realize the Buffalo Bills have no one to blame but themselves. Y'all do realize that, right?
Yeah,
that's because Joe Brady decided
they had an opportunity.
The one time Joe Brady decided to do something different.
They trade not even before then. The draft, they traded out and gave the pick to Kansas City that made them draft Xavier Worthy. That was their first. That was the first mistake.
Why you gonna trade with your conference rival?
With the person that you're trying to beat.
I ain't trade nothing, but
I ain't trading nothing.
But insults. That's all I'm trading with them.
That's it. Okay. And then this is the part I forgot. The only reason that Kansas City got Patrick Mahomes is because of Buffalo.
Yeah, they did say
the trade in the draft for it. I was like, wow.
You did it to yourself.
You did it to yourself.
So for most people that don't know, I'm a firearms instructor as well, and I teach people how not to shoot themselves in the foot. Buffalo, you can come and train with me, so you can learn to stop shooting.
I feel for Josh Allen. Josh Allen, you're gonna have a Hall of Fame career with no chip.
That's the way it's going.
You're gonna have a Hall of Fame career with no chip.
Next Dan Marino.
You really gonna be that? It's really you. I'm sorry, because I it's not even Kansas City. the Bengals are going to be better. Joe Burrow going to come. Lamar
Yeah, that's
going to get
true.
one. Lamar going to get one out of here.
Hey, Josh Allen turns 29 in May. I'm not saying that's an old quarterback, but all I'm saying is time is running out.
With Harbaugh over there and with the Chargers, Herbert going to have
Sean
a shot at
Payton,
it.
Sean
He going to have a
Payton,
shot at it. Sean Payton over there, they going to have a shot at it. So
and,
it's
we
going to
don't
be
and we don't know what Pete Carroll's going to do with the Raiders. We think we
the
know,
only
but he
if
raised that ceiling again.
Vrabel over there back with the Patriots and Drake May looks like a stud. So in your own
And
division, you
and
gonna have
listen,
problems in a couple years.
I have one question.
listen, Houston too.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
So when you say the Bills did it to themselves, what do you mean by that?
So so Xavier Worthy, how Kansas City got Xavier Worthy is the Bills traded out of that
deal,
pick.
not the game, the deal.
No, yeah, the deals, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the Patrick Mahomes draft, the Bills did that trade to give Andy Reid that pick to get Patrick.
No, I thought you meant in the game. Okay.
Oh no. Josh, listen, this is why I say I feel for Josh Allen. I sat square to watch that game. He did everything you could possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you couldn't critique him of what he could have done to play better. He literally did everything he could do. We said we need you to be Superman, and he was Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else you like. How do you go into the offseason? What do you do? What do you improve on? What do you do? I did everything I could do. Like, what can we do?
I said last week, if there was a time to try to win the Super Bowl, would be this
It was
year.
now.
Because this was the year that you turned the ball over the least amount of times during the regular season, which means you was doing everything right. Joe Brady had you guys running the football. You didn't ask Josh Allen to be Superman.
James Cook balled out in that game. Like they did everything. James Cook balled out. They did everything. Everything. That's why I feel so bad for him. I'm just like, God, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
That conference is loaded. It's either loaded with quarterbacks or loaded with head coaches, and it's a combination of both.
He needs a 2008 season. Remember when Tom Brady got hurt and was gone for that whole year? That's what it looked like it's going to take. I'm not wishing injury, but I'm saying that's what it's going to take.
No,
it's going to take.
You know what he needs?
To not play.
You know what he needs? The 2000 Ravens defense. Shoot.
Well, that ain't coming. Not in this era.
No, you ain't gonna put together defense like that without unless you draft them and they all on their rookie deals and they just all play and you hit on every pick. That's what
you literally have to land. You have to land everything.
You have to hit every pick and they have to play out of their minds and be all on their rookie deals.
Yeah.
That's what has to happen.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do this prediction for next week.
No, we're gonna say that.
Oh, we're gonna wait. We're gonna say it for next week.
Yep.
We got an open week. We're gonna do it at the end of the show next week.
Okay.
So, but again, I want to send a shout out. Just a Fan merch, True Life Fashion. Jesse Porter the third is the one. Look up True Life Fashion. I believe he has a website, truelifefashion.com.
It's like real good quality.
Yes, it's very good quality.
It's good quality.
Because I'm wearing my hoodie tonight, but I'm probably gonna wear my shirt tomorrow to work, my t-shirt tomorrow. But you'll be seeing us with this gear on every time we're on the air, and then pretty soon we'll be able to tell you how you can get a Just a Fan podcast hoodie, t-shirt, and so forth. So also we need more subscribers, y'all. Because I know there are people that watch, but you don't subscribe. Hit the like button, smack it a like, smack it a follow, subscription, and then tell a friend. Hit the share. The little thing to do that, you gotta hit the share. Share with somebody. Hey man, these dudes really know what they talking about. The dude in the black hat's kind of off his kilter. He's crazy. He needs meds, but he still knows football. You know what I'm saying? You know, so sometimes he thinks he's a redneck from South Texas, you know, but it doesn't matter. He knows football. Okay. So yeah, just share with a friend so we get our subs up. And then because Brandon has this thing where he wants to do a Patreon. I don't think y'all want to watch our Patreon because it get raw in there. So, but
that's the whole purpose of it.
Oh my God. But yeah, man. So if you watch it right now, tell a friend. Hey man, these dudes, man, they wilding, man. Hey, just hit subscribe, check them out. So, but that's all I have to say. And
All right, well, I'll tell you what, right now I feel like being random, so I'm gonna do this.
Trash, 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 I am trash.
Taylor Swift likes it.
Who gets the trash away?
I just feel like being random. That's all.
I'm on one tonight. I'm sorry. I'm on one tonight. I don't care.
I just feel like being random.
Both of y'all need to be on timeout.
Hey, listen.
End the show, Brandon.
Respect my authorities.
End the show. Or I will end it. End the
I
show.
got you. Well, yeah, I know you got the controls too. So
yes.
Anyway. Hey, listen. Thank you all for watching the show. Hey, you know, we'll talk about this post-production or whenever. Thanks for watching the show. We'll be back live next Wednesday. Talk everything Super Bowl. Unfortunately, a lot of these awards are
I'm
going to
blurring.
be, huh?
Go ahead, Brandon. Just go.
A lot of these award stuff is not going to be until like the day after the show, which is unfortunate for us. So
we already know who the offensive rookie of the year going to be.
We do.
That kid Jaden.
Brock Bowers. Anyway, so anyway, we are live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can follow us on IG, TikTok for however much longer, Twitter, and Facebook. All right. That direction. Trish TV, who's rooting for Kendrick Lamar next week for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Come on, Kendrick.
That direction, Steve Space H. White, the guy who came up with the idea for the show. Down below, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat.
Yeah,
the revolution will not be. He says the revolution will not be televised. And somebody get this man some therapy, okay? And then me, I'm Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. I didn't even change my stupid. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, good night, y'all. Peace.